I'm going to share with you my latest fragrance acquisitions. So if you're interested to see what I've purchased and added to my collection in the last couple of weeks, then keep on watching. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching this video and for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely hit that red button. So I don't think this will come as any surprise to anyone watching my channel that I've been doing more fragrance shopping. It's really an addiction. And I've added a few more fragrances to my collection, which I'm going to share with you today. And there are some really, really interesting ones. So definitely stay until the end. Okay, let's start with the first one. And I'm tempted to say I want to blame this on, but let's go with it was inspired by the curious perfumer Alice. She did a video a while back talking about her favorite salty fragrances, and there are a few that caught my attention, including this one that I'm going to show you in a minute. But at the time, I really disliked the bottle and the packaging, and I thought, okay, I don't need it right now. And then in recent times, I accidentally had a chance to sample this fragrance. And once I did, there was no looking back. I loved it so much, I thought, forget it. I don't care if I don't like the bottle. I need to have this in my collection. And I am talking about Kenzo World Power. Absolutely fell in love with this fragrance totally unexpectedly. And I'm still not a fan of the bottle, but at this point, I really don't care. So here it is. I think it's supposed to look like an eye, maybe. I mean, not my favorite. I mean, cheap plastic cap. Okay, we got it. I don't like the packaging. Now, this is a pretty simple fragrance. It has 3 notes: cypress, sea salt, and tonka bean. And it is stunning. You definitely get sea salt very strongly. And I sort of struggle with sea salt sometimes, because if it's an extremely sort of a sweet fragrance with an addition of sea salt, I feel sea salt strongly, and I typically like those types of scents, like Olympia, for example. But if I'm looking sort of for a lighter salty type of scent, it's not very gourmand and very sweet, it often smells really bad to me. Either I don't smell the sea salt or the scent becomes unpleasant. So I've had a hard time finding kind of a lighter salty type of scent. And I think this one is perfect in this category. Yes, there is tonka bean, so there is a little bit of sweetness, but this is not a gourmand. To me, this is not very sweet. This is lightly sweet. And you definitely get sort of this almost freshness or maybe a touch of woodiness from cypress. And then you definitely have a very, very strong sea salt note. This fragrance is absolutely addictive. When I first purchased it, the first 3 days, I could not put it down. I mean, I would spray it in the morning, I would spray it in the afternoon, I would spray it before going to bed. I could not stop myself. And this is so, so beautiful. So thank you, Alice, for recommending this. I am loving this fragrance. Very, very unexpected love for me. Okay, number 2. Number 2 is something that I'm going to share with you, but it's more really a purchase for my husband than me. You will understand in a second why. This is from Al Haramain Ambra Oud Rouge. So in one of the recent hauls, I shared with you that I purchased the gold version, which is supposed to be a dupe for Herbe Pure, and it is, in my opinion. And this one, the Rouge version, is supposed to be a dupe of Baccarat Rouge 540, which again, I think it is. It's very, very close. But as you know, I'm not a huge fan of Baccarat Rouge, but my husband, on the other hand, is a huge fan. He absolutely loves it. One of his top 3 for sure. And so I purchased this one just so I can try it myself, because I thought, well, I like the gold version more than I liked the original Herbe Pure. Maybe I'm gonna like this one more than Baccarat Rouge. I don't. To me, it smells basically the same. But I thought if I don't like it, then I know he loves it and he's gonna wear it, and he's absolutely thrilled about this purchase. So here's the packaging. Again, I think the packaging is beautiful because these are, you know, relatively inexpensive fragrances. And in this case, it's red. And I'm not even gonna go into all the notes here. It doesn't matter. This is probably the closest dupe to Baccarat Rouge that I've ever smelled. And don't take my word for it. One of the days my husband was wearing this and we went to a store, a fragrance store, actually trying and smelling other fragrances, and a salesperson asked him if he was wearing Baccarat Rouge. So I think that's a confirmation to me that this really is very, very similar. So again, this is for my husband, not really for me. Next one is from L'Artisan Parfumeur. And this is, let's see if I can pronounce it, Noir Exqui. I don't know. You can see the title here. And this is a house that I've been extremely curious about, but when I read the descriptions, the notes, the reviews on fragrances, many of them I know are not for me and I'm not going to like them. There was one that I purchased a while back, but I shared with you that it really didn't work out for me and I had to sell it. So I gave it one more chance and really wanted to try this one. So here's the bottle. This is still the older style bottles, which I really love. I like them so much more than the newer bottles. The newer ones I think are kind of dark green, gray type of thing, but I really like these ones better. Okay, now the scent. So the notes in here are chestnut, orange, orange blossom, coffee, maple sap, heliotrope, vanilla, tonka bean, sandalwood, and ebony. And let's start with the fact that this is a winner. I finally found something from this house that I really, really enjoy. And this one is a gourmand, but I would say it's a little different type of gourmand. At least to my collection, it is a little bit different. You definitely get very strong chestnut note, especially at the beginning, which I really, really love. And you definitely get vanilla, tonka bean, sandalwood. Yes, all of those are present here, of course, but you have this interesting addition of maple sap. So it has that sort of maple syrup vibe a little bit. So it's chestnuts with maple syrup. That's what it smells like mostly to me. There's a touch of woodiness and smokiness, which maybe is coming from ebony. It is deep. It is beautiful. And like I said, it's a gourmand, but to my collection, it's a slightly unique type of gourmand. Like, it's sort of, yes, it's gourmand, it's edible, but it's not your typical, you know, cookie candy type of gourmand. Like, to me, it is slightly, it gives me a slightly different vibe, but I really like it. So like I said, finally, I found something from this house that is really for me, that I really enjoy. Next one, I'm gonna share with you a purchase that has been on my wish list for a very, very long time. I had a feeling that I was gonna love it, and I do love it. And I finally bit the bullet. I had a bit of a discount to the site where this fragrance is sold. And so I decided to purchase it. And it doesn't come in a box. It comes in this black little pouch, which was interesting. I had no idea it comes like this. So let me take it out. The fragrance I'm talking about is Unknown Pleasures from Kerosene. Of course, this is another gourmand. So the fragrance, actually, before I go into the notes, let me just tell you, the bottle overall, I really like. It has this industrial feel, which I think suits the house name perfectly. My only gripe with this is the cap. It is basically loose. Like, I think it's supposed to be magnetic. I'm not sure if it is, but it's extremely loose. I can't hold it by the cap, it's gonna fall. So that's my only gripe with the packaging, but other than that, I really, really love it. Now, the scent. So the notes in here are lemon, Earl Grey tea, bergamot, honey, caramel, vanilla, and tonka bean. When I first sprayed it, on the initial spray, right away it reminded me of something, and that something is Lyra from Xerjoff. Initial spray is very, very similar. You get caramel with a splash of lemon. And so at first I loved it, of course, but I thought, oh, do I have a complete dupe here? But it is not. Because once it starts settling down, it really changes. It definitely, Earl Grey tea is starting to come out a little more. And the most interesting thing is that initial sweetness, like caramel and honey and vanilla, whatever sweet notes are in here, to me, they morph into a condensed milk. I don't know if any of you have ever tried it. When I was growing up, this was quite popular, so I know very well what it smells like. And to me, the sweetness becomes this condensed milk type of sweetness. So I feel like I'm having a cup of tea with condensed milk. That's the vibe that it gives me. So that initial spray that was so similar to Lyra really disappears pretty quickly, and this becomes a very different type of scent. I am absolutely thrilled that I purchased it. This is definitely up my alley. This is definitely becoming one of my favorites. Performance is really great. So this is definitely 2 thumbs up. Absolutely love it, and so glad I finally purchased it. Next, let's do 2 fragrances from the same house. And this is a house that I've mentioned before. I only had 1 fragrance from it, and I decided to expand and try a few more. The house is Nobile 1942. You know that I have Dances of the Dragonflies, which I absolutely love. And so the other one that I added, let's start with this one. This is called Levante. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And is it like I tried to look up the translation of what this means. I think it means east or east wind, something like that. If anyone knows, if anyone speaks Italian, maybe you can let me know exactly what it means, if I'm right or wrong here. The bottle looks exactly the same as Dances of the Dragonflies. Stunning. I really, really love the design of these bottles. So the notes in here are sea notes, white florals, jasmine, patchouli, cedar, vanilla, caramel, musk, benzoin, and resins. And if I had this fragrance before I did my favorite summer gourmand fragrances, I would have definitely included it in that video. To me, this is a quintessential summer gourmand because it has gourmand notes, but it definitely has a lot of freshness. And so sea notes are definitely coming through. I feel the sea notes right away. And with these sea notes, I feel the salty note, although there is no salt listed in here, but I do feel it in this fragrance. And then you get the sweetness from vanilla and caramel, but it's not an overwhelming type of sweetness. It is very light. It is very airy type of sweetness. Later on, a little bit of patchouli are starting to come through, but they're not very earthy type of patchouli. They're more sweet kind of patchouli. There are supposed to be some white florals and jasmine. I can't say that I smell a lot of that, although maybe they're coming through a little bit later. And the other note that's in here is resins. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, resins can bring a bit of sort of a spiciness to this, which I am definitely sensing in here as well. So overall, this is, and I think when I showed this bottle on Instagram, that's what I wrote. This is sweet and salty, and that's exactly what it is. This is sweet and salty in a very light kind of way with a little bit of spiciness. This is really, really interesting, light, and I think this is a perfect summer gourmand. So this is Levante, that's what I'm gonna call it, from Nobile 1942. The second one from this house is probably a more known fragrance, and it is Caf Chantant. Now, many reviewers say, at least that's what I read on Fragrantica and heard from some people, comparing this one to Guerlain's Cuir Beluga. Yes. So here's the bottle. The bottle looks exactly the same as the other ones. So let me tell you about the notes, and then I'll tell you what I think about the fragrance itself and the comparison to Cuir Beluga. So the notes in here are sour cherry, laurels, heliotrope, star anise, iris, patchouli, benzoin, vanilla, and musk. So the first note listed is sour cherry. And I know that many people smell it in here, but I have to be honest with you. For me, there's absolutely no cherry in this. I do not smell cherry at all, any kind of cherry. This is, again, definitely sweet, but maybe slightly darker sweet. It's smooth. Is it? So what comes out more than anything? So yeah, you do get a little bit of that powderiness from heliotrope and iris. Definitely vanilla, musk, benzoin. Yes, all of that is there. So I also get a slightly boozy feel to this. So what does it smell like to me? Well, to me, this is like you have a sponge cake with rum and you have pastry cream somewhere inside. That's the feeling that it gives me. That's the imagery that I get when I smell this. This is really beautiful, slightly dark but slightly subdued type of gourmand. It's not like in your face type of sweetness. The second question, is it similar to Cuir Beluga, which I don't have, but I have sampled? On the initial blast, it is completely different. After it's been on my skin for a couple of hours, it settles into something reminiscent of Cuir Beluga. It is definitely similar. It is going in the same direction, but is it identical? No, I don't think it's identical, and I would not call this one a dupe. I think this is a standalone fragrance, and it is very, very beautiful. Again, when I first got it, I wore it for a couple of days straight, couldn't put it down. This is a beauty. So both of these from Nobile 1942, I really love. But if I'm completely honest with you, these two do not beat Dances of the Dragonflies. Dances of the Dragonflies is still my absolute #1 from this brand, but all three are worth it. All three are beautiful, and I am really happy to have all three. Okay, we're left with two, and I'm gonna leave my most interesting discovery to the last. So next, let's go with, of course, how can we do a haul without Maison Lancome? Yeah, this is no exception. I've added another fragrance from Maison Lancome line. This one is Iris, and I don't know if it is a Dragees. I've heard people pronounce it two different ways. Let me know. I think I would say Dragees, but I don't know. Let me know what's the right way to pronounce this. And as you know, I absolutely love this line and really obsessed with it. And I was really curious about this fragrance, and I was waiting for it to come back in stock on the discounter side because, you know, most of my fragrances I purchased that way. And when it did, I decided, okay, I'm gonna risk it and I'm gonna purchase it. So let me show you the bottle. Of course, it is similar to all the other Maison Lancome bottles. The only difference is white cap. which I absolutely hate. I don't understand why they put the white cap. I think it cheapens the whole look, and the gold caps just look so, so much better. So yeah, I'm not a fan of white cap, but doesn't matter. So I was nervous about this fragrance because obviously by the name, this is about iris, and iris is not my favorite type of floral note. I'm picky with this note. It has to be a particular type of iris for me to like it. So let's look at all the notes in this one. It has bergamot, pink pepper, orange blossom, sugar, iris, freesia, orris, vanilla, musk, iso e super. So I do like this one a lot. It is sweet, but again, I wouldn't necessarily call it a gourmand. To me, this is more like floral sweet. And it is very interesting because I feel like there are small elements of different things in this one that are blended together. So initially, especially, I definitely can sense the pink pepper. It gives you a blast of that peppery note of spiciness, I guess, or yeah, of peppery note. Then you definitely get iris and orris, so it gives you a little bit of that powderiness, and you definitely get sweetness from sugar and vanilla, and you get a slight touch of floral notes, and I also get a touch of this makeup vibe. Like it smells a little bit like a lipstick or like a powder, like a makeup vibe. But all of these elements are very light, and then they're put together and you get this really, really beautiful composition of all these elements put together. So it is a little bit sweet, it is a little bit powdery, it smells a little bit like makeup-y, it has a little bit of floral notes, it has a little bit of spicy notes, so it has a little bit of everything, but when you put it all together, it gives you this almost gentle, sweet iris. I know Dragees or Dragees, this is supposed to be some kind of almond candy, if I'm not mistaken. I have no idea what it is, never seen it, never tried it, but I don't necessarily get almond. I don't necessarily get any kind of candy vibe. To me, this is very gentle type of scent. This is not one of your really strong in your face type of Lancome scents, like let's say Roses Barbranza or Oud Ambrosi. You know, this is more in line with Pivoni Printemps, which is another really soft, gentle type of scent. So I really, really like it. I was surprised how much I liked it, and I have to tell you, my husband and my daughter absolutely loved it. When this one first came, they couldn't get enough of this. They're like, spray this, and my daughter said, can I spray this? And all of them kept walking around me and telling me how much they love this scent. So this is definitely another winner from Maison Lancome. I just wish it had the gold cap. Okay, we've made it to the last one, and the last one is from a house that I really didn't know much about or anything about. In fact, when I looked up this fragrance on Fragrantica, there wasn't a single review on this house, but I was really curious about it, and I really loved the notes that were listed, that I thought, okay, I haven't seen a single review on Fragrantica. I couldn't find any reviews on YouTube, but I thought, okay, I'm gonna risk it and I'm going to buy it. And this is, I mean, the box and the color are absolutely stunning. I love this. This is from the house of Gritti, which is another Italian house. And let me open it. And for those of you that follow me on Instagram, you have seen this already. This is stunning. The bottle is so interesting. I mean, very unique looking bottle. And the scent is called Pomelo Sorrento. And this house has several different lines. They have this sort of turquoise looking line. They have white line that's in white bottles, and they have, I think, several lines in black bottles, but this is my first introduction to this brand. And so let me tell you about this one. So the notes in here are pomelo, grapefruit, white florals, rose, green tea, iris, vetiver, and amber. And if you watched any of my videos, you probably can guess why I was interested in this fragrance, because it has green tea, and I really, really love green tea scents. And I am so glad I took a chance on this one, and I risked buying it without reading or seeing any reviews on it. This is, for those of you who love tea scents, and especially green tea scents, this is a stunner and sort of very unique, because I find that majority of the tea scents have either lemon or lime or bergamot in them. That's typically what I see. But this one is different because this one has grapefruit and pomelo. And I think pomelo is something similar to grapefruit or different variety of grapefruit. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. So this one had definitely, I'm getting green tea with grapefruit. There's no rose. There's no iris. I'm getting a little bit of vetiver. So you have that sort of freshness from vetiver, I think. And it's just a stunning kind of, almost, I want to say bubbly, almost slightly tart, but it is stunning green tea with grapefruit and pomelo. It is so, so beautiful, so refreshing. It is so beautifully put together. And like I said, it is definitely, I find it very, very different from other green tea scents. This is a huge winner in my books. Of course, we're nearing the end of summer, so I won't get to wear this one too much this summer, but I am sure that next year I will be wearing this non-stop. This is a stunner. I mean, both the bottle, the packaging, and the scent itself. Again, if you have a chance to try this, and if you like green tea type of scents, this one is absolutely amazing. So that's it. That's the end of this haul. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.